let's do approval of minutes. Has everybody looked at them? Somebody want to make a motion?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, done. President's remarks. It is with great joy that I announced that apparently the Finance Committee has come up with a decision on the, I started to call it the MD study. And we're sending it forward for what, 21,000 or
35,000, just under 36,000.
whatever the number is.
7 items.
Yeah, and
Out of
we're gonna send it up to them and they
So I
have
haven't yet, Ken.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't, he
Yeah,
never
no.
got back to me with the.
Oh, yeah, no, I,
Yes,
because
send it.
the board last time said whatever the finance committee comes up with to do it,
Correct.
and they have come up with it,
So I
so
will do that.
let's send it. And that's really all I have. The budget, Jack's not gonna be here for the budget. Rhea, can you talk to it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so well then
We'll get there.
I'll be done, and we'll go office update.
Okay, gotten the bulk of the checks and so on in that I usually get at the beginning of the billing season. I'm through all those, everything's posted. So I did hear about, I mentioned it to you earlier, a lien that I filed for a house on Ottawa, as I recall. And they have been they're going to be sheriff sale. So you might see stuff out or hear about stuff on the sidewalk, and that's what that's all about. But I filed the lien in 2018. They owe a total, I want to say, of $1,800 or so, something like that. I'm not absolutely certain that I can collect on fees after 2018. Only the ones before. I'm not certain. It's sort of in the works. And I sent them the statement, the bank, and so on and so forth. So we'll see what I get. I hope I get all of it. If not, it might be that there's a way I can update once I file the lien to say, hey, this is what's up now. Can we go from there?
Oh, I see.
Okay,
So we'll see what happens there. I have a call from, well, I'm about to file a quarterly report for special tax district reimbursement. I'll be asking for $20,075 for the past quarter, the first quarter of 2024. 16,000 or so is snow removal, and the rest of that is SMECO, streetlights. So I'll be sending that to finance tomorrow for reimbursement. Also, I was contacted by a woman from the State Health Department, Kim Ryan, and they would like to come to Drum Point. They're going to various communities with a mobile unit to do free health screenings. Is that something that we want to do? And I would assume
Free
if
health
we do, then
screening?
they would set up over there, right?
The county's gonna do it? Why
Well,
should we object?
state health.
Oh, well, why should we?
Okay, I just felt like I should, okay. And that's it.
Do they come for just the whole day? Is that the?
I don't know, she just asked if we would be open to that, and I said I'd have to check with the board, so, but I'll find out the details.
All right, well
That's
then, okay, well, you're on stage, keep staying. Operations and roads?
So, some of the work that has already been approved has been done on Beach Drive, and we've paid that. There's additional work on that contract still ongoing. And Steve requested prices from Grover's again, thinking toward next fiscal year, for work on Cardinal Drive, a little more on Beach, and then also Mill Creek Drive. And I think Steve would need to come in and talk about details of why and how and where and so on.
Excuse me, the work on Beach Drive, they may have to revisit it.
It's being
A
revisited.
little bit on 529 and a significant amount on 552. They did a lot of big rocks. I probably should have gone maybe
A little
10 or 15 feet more
Yeah.
on the top or the bottom.
Steve's working with Rovers right now on that.
Okay.
And that's it, that's all I've got for operations.
Well, Jack's not here, roll,
So
we're
then-
on a roll. Talk
So
about
if you look
it.
at,
Second, can I go back?
yeah, of course.
Where is this on Beach?
I would have to do that. It's on the corner of Allen House.
Right
That's
as you're
Allen.
approaching the community beach, if you took a right at Beach and Beach, and you kind of go around that circle, that house that just sold, I think, 529 to 552.
Okay.
What was wrong with the
Some of the rocks just
Oh,
after
If there
the
needed to be
rain.
additional rocks and so on.
No, I just wondered if it wasn't the same areas we did last year with the
Oh,
beach and surf.
No. no, no. So, but I think if you'd like, I'll ask Steve to come in maybe for the next meeting, and he can speak obviously better than I can to what he's talking
Yeah,
to
to
growers.
cover that, I
Okay.
mean,
I'll ask him to do that.
Okay, then, finance.
And then, you've got the usual reports, but the main thing, and I don't know, as Jack would say, everything's is pretty much within budget so far for the year. I don't think anything major. Collections are ongoing, and you see that in the deferred revenue is on the back of the sheet, on the balance sheet, what we've collected so far for the upcoming fiscal year.
How are we doing on that percentage-wise?
Well, it's about 45% right now, I think, last time I checked it. But if you look on that back page, you've got deferred revenue, STD, and then fiscal year '25 and for the covenants and mandatory assessment. That deferred revenue, STD, that's from the auditor, that's not mine. I mean, I put it in there, but at his direction.
I guess I'm sort of more interested in what's our percentage rate compared to.
Well, for
past
the
years.
current fiscal year, we're at the 82%. That, you know, we always hope for 80% to do our budgeting, and we're at about 82% for the current fiscal year. We're at about 42 or 44% the upcoming fiscal year, which is, I think, average for what we usually do this time of year. So I don't think it surprises there. And then the only other thing, the main thing that Jack would be presenting is the budget for fiscal year '25. And the finance committee met. Susan, you were on that, Ryan, Bonnie, of course, Jack, Mike Chaconis, and Jenna Swartwood. So there's 100 more, you know, so we budget the income and then come down and we've also, if you look at that front page, under expenses, we didn't do a line item per se, but just put it at the top of the spreadsheet, $35,590.
Okay.
So that's what's gonna be moved into the reserve account. There's some ups and downs, there are notes there, if anything significant change.
Question. That's what we're gonna carry for reserves.
That's
We
what,
had 24.
there's 24,000 or so right now in reserve.
Oh, did we have,
24,235.
was it reserve as in carryover?
No, there's an account already set up with money in it, it's 24,000 in there right now.
Okay, so only had, should need to add enough to get up to 35.
Well, that would be up to you guys, we could do
Well, that's
that.
why keep lowering it than we
Well,
would.
it's gonna be interesting to see
Right?
what the number comes out after they apply their,
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do anything right now.
yeah, no.
But we're the ones who say what is right, they're mainly Willie Dotson reports going to.
Yeah, well, we told them what we wanted, what we think should be covered under the reserve account, and then they will come back with a formula, as they did before, that came up to 5 million in 20 years.
Yeah.
We'll see what their number
Yeah.
is.
So that's up to you guys, and do you want me to just bump up what's currently in there to make it?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say don't do anything,
No,
yeah.
don't do
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
pay
But my point was that if it turns out that we're gonna go with those 7 items, then we only have to add enough
Okay, yes,
to
I
make
understand.
sure, I don't think we should put more than we need to.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I can change that, because we do need to get the budget approved
Okay,
in
well,
time
then-
for getting into the newsletter
Well, this
by the
point, maybe
first part of May.
just have the, or maybe show the 24,000 folding into that number somehow, I don't know.
Well, I would just
Well-
reduce what's at the top of that
Yeah,
spreadsheet
okay,
to the
that's-
10 or
yeah,
12 or
yeah,
14,000.
Whatever, because that's the additional we have to put in, right.
I can do that. I thought about that as I was putting that number in.
No,
So-
it's,
So we're at 11,000. Okay. So you can see the notes, I mean, you just want to go down through them and if you have any questions.
This number here, this Is that proposed for?
No,
or
that's
is
what I
that
had, that's where I am right
actually
now. I
Okay.
just plugged it in there, otherwise the numbers at the end
Okay,
don't really gel at all.
okay.
You can't get a good idea
Mhm.
of the final breakdown or the final numbers. So that, as always, is a separate discussion with you guys, without me. But I will say, I guess we already kind of did it on the employer portion of this thing.
Nothing jumps off the page at me, I don't know, how's everybody else feel?
Looks like what we did.
Mhm.
So then you see at the back page, you know, you got the income and budget all that, plus you need extra, so that's where that carryover number comes from.
Mm.
I don't have any problem with it. Any questions?
And you.
The only thing we have, one thing we have left to do is decide on the salary.
Yeah, we have to
When
do
do we
that.
have, do we have to do that right away, or can we wait till Jack is back, or?
Well, you need to do it in time for it to get into the newsletter.
When is that?
We announced that in the newsletter?
Has to be, because it's gonna be voted on at the June meeting. So it goes in the summer newsletter, or the roll-up does.
Oh,
It's the summer newsletter,
And
and that's
when's
always
that?
published in. I'm going out of town the last week of May, so I would like to have it out of my hands mid-May. So,
For the next
So
board
there's some
meeting, we can
time.
take care of.
yeah, well, yeah, we could do
Yeah,
it, we can do it
there's
in the
some
May
time,
meeting.
right.
Yeah,
We'll do
and
the
I-
May meeting when Jack's here.
Okay.
I would rather have
Okay.
Jack here.
that makes sense, okay. So that's it.
Okay, good, well, yeah, okay, so that's, so we don't do anything with this now.
I don't know, I get, without, not if you don't want to, how about jumping?
Well,
You
yeah.
wanna wait?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
I
wait
don't
till
see
the
anything,
Yeah.
other than that discussion about reserve.
Well, yes, and I'll go ahead and change that, yeah. And that does make sense, I meant to,
Yeah.
Well,
Put it out
then,
in front.
then on, eventually end up showing on the balance sheet as being
yes,
36,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly right.
All right, any other questions about money? Bonnie, environment?
I just have one thing, and I sent out an email late afternoon to Ginny and Rhea and
Yes.
Asha. I had found out about a new invasive species of joy called lesser celandine, which looks like a very lovely
I
ground
always
cover.
like greater celandine myself, lesser celandine.
But lesser celandine really
Is
makes me think. And it looks like a very pretty ground cover, and it's used in a lot of lawns, and it's another one where it takes over your whole lawn, and you just can't pull it up, you have to dig out every little, these little
What do you spell
bag
it?
buds underneath, you know, it's CELADINE. Lesser celandine. CELADINE. I have a picture of it, it's just one of those.
Can't grow anything in my yard.
That's how my
You
yard
know,
was.
I'll bet you can grow mint.
Clay.
And maybe, this is what it looks like, it's this kind of harmless looking ground cover
Well,
thing.
they all look harmless
Yeah,
until the trees are all
yeah.
dead.
Well, it's really,
Yeah, once you get rid of it.
I'm so killed by trees.
I mean, it just looks like a pretty little
Pile work,
yellow flower.
Yeah.
looks pretty.
Yeah.
So maybe I could put something in the newsletter?
Yeah, and if you
There's
have
not a lot of
I
those.
can write up something, this is the one that goes out in May.
Yeah, I don't think it could, like,
I'll
the
just
budget
write it.
takes up one whole page,
Mhm.
and then the front page is usually devoted to Drum Point Day.
Yeah.
So it's sort of an easier newsletter, and then the president's page.
Unless you want to put it in a separate email, like that, everyone's one.
Well, I could do that as well,
Yeah.
I could do that as well.
And I could
But
kind of thing up the write-up.
Yeah, so maybe make something short for the newsletter.
Yes, yes.
And then also send
yeah,
it
the
longer with
people
a
have
link
this
to,
in their lawn, they need to be aware of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's apparently all over Montgomery County, it's spreading fast, so, anyhow, that's all I've got.
It's
That's
not
enough,
enough.
that's enough.
full of good news.
But you know what I'm saying, I guess, where did I read it? In the Washington Post about, looking out for the, what did they call it, spongy masses that are the nests of the lantern
Lantern.
Oh,
fly,
yeah.
and some other
Yeah.
fly or
Spongy
something.
masses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that's-
it looks like.
that's-
And that's ugly,
they're-
that
Disgusting
stripes,
looking.
ugly looking
Yeah,
stripes.
and they
Mm.
said,
Oh,
cut them down,
yeah.
burn them, burn them. Well, but anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think with this lesser celandine, you're supposed to dig up not only the little bulges and the roots, but and throw away the dirt. I mean, same as that other invasive species, that Italian something or other.
I don't remember.
Just dig up the dirt, throw away the dirt.
Does anybody know when the cicadas are supposed to come out?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be a double whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you got
They
the
get very
combined-
large down here.
Well, you
Yeah, I
think we're
gotta
going
have
to.
large,
That's
open,
exciting.
sunny fields where
Mm.
they have laid eggs before
Okay.
and then they come out. And if you don't have large, sunny.
Double
They probably
brood.
should,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
right.
double brood, what is it,
Right.
19 and 17 or
19
13?
and 13.
19 and 13, yeah.
13.
Coming out together. And the next one will be in another 240 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So chances are we won't have much down here. Yeah, because we didn't, my kids in Clinton have a tremendous
Yes.
amount that happens. They have a
Yeah.
great big backyard
Yeah.
full of sun and two great big trees.
Our parking lot across the way, our lot,
Oh, well, yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose so.
I wonder like that.
I just
Well,
never
just-
see
yeah, well,
I've just
have to
never
wait and
seen
see.
that.
any
Yeah,
around here.
No,
Yeah,
no, I
no,
saw many more when I was in Old Town.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Falls Church gets enough, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Safety Committee, did John know about tonight's meeting?
Well, I sent him the emails. And they did come to the membership meeting,
I know.
and he came to the last board meeting.
Ah,
I mean, you sent out the meeting minutes from,
I did.
so that had a
It
date.
was in it as well.
all right, well, he's not here,
Yeah.
and so there's nothing there. Welcoming Committee, Rhea, you're on tonight.
Yes, you are.
Hey, you gotta lead.
Do I have anything to report though? That's a good question.
You came in about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Do a lot
Yes,
of
you
those
did.
buckets.
Yep.
Are they,
That's part
are
of
they being, are there
Membership
a lot of people
report
moving
right
in?
there. So yeah, Jenna, or no, you and Jenna and Asha came in. Is that where you were?
No.
You couldn't make it, that's right. You assembled 4 buckets. I've given 1 out so far of the 4 you assembled.
Was it
So-
just 4? Seemed like it was
Just
more.
4.
Hmm.
Yep, yep, just 4, so.
Actually, there's some heavy drinking going on in the background.
Didn't look like 8 did.
Yeah. That's why, you think it was 4, but
4 over
actually
here,
7
4 over
bottles
here.
of wine were consumed, no. All right.
Are you getting many people moving in, Rhea?
It has slowed down somewhat, just significantly, I would say.
Throughout the year?
Over the past few months, I think with the winter,
That's
things slow down anyways, always in the winter time. This is probably the time of year they'll start picking back up, when kids get out of school, and families will leave and so on.
Mhm.
People start looking for a summer place.
Or Airbnb?
Well, I will say this, there are a couple of, I've had phone calls from realtors mostly, asking, number one, do we allow Airbnbs? And I tell them, don't have a reason, we're not able to restrict them, so yes, we do. But a couple of times, people that want to buy some of the nicer homes on the water and want to turn it into an Airbnb to help them pay their mortgage. Which, I don't know, okay.
Well, I mean, if you allow them, you allow them.
Well, yeah, of course.
So,
I've heard there's 30, I just don't think that's a good way to carry a mortgage,
well,
depending on, you know,
you shouldn't plan on it.
that's what I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe buy a lesser,
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anything like in the bylaws that said some
Covenants.
equity group couldn't buy up 15 houses?
it would be the
or-
covenants, and no, there's nothing in there.
And that turned into Deal,
Nothing at all.
Harrington Harbor or
Well,
something.
that's why the club exists,
Mhm.
because they want to
Right.
prevent that land from getting bought up by a
Exactly.
single entity and
Turned into
turned into
condos.
exactly
There
what.
is nothing in our bylaws or covenants.
Covenants.
It's-
The bylaws dictate how the association conducts its business.
So,
voting and
Mhm.
meetings and so on. It would be the covenants, but it doesn't exist. 1948 is
I was
what
gonna
it's.
say,
Yeah.
in 1948, not a lot of Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Did you
Wasn't even-
follow up on that?
wasn't even
Is
born.
the county doing something about controlling income from Airbnbs or?
I had not heard that. I know
We
we talked
talked
about
about
that, but I hadn't heard that
Oh, I
That
thought
they-
you were gonna.
beyond that. Well, I was trying to I've been trying to talk to the county about what's going on Route 4 as you head north on the left. It's in the code.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is
yeah,
that?
suddenly, yeah.
And nobody seems to be able to.
Well,
Yeah.
the gun club.
Is it a gun club?
Is it, do you know that as a fact?
Well, I know part of it is a fact because of the trailer is sitting right there, and on one of the little side entrances into where they cleared the trees. But I can't imagine what they're doing with all of that land clearing. I mean,
Where is it?
what's the
again?
gun club gonna do with that? Unless they're gonna set up
Aren't there some
sporting
limitations?
clays or something,
Yeah,
but,
but there's some limitations as to how close they can be to any inhabited area.
yeah, I know. So I don't know what's going on.
No one really knows what's going on, according to Chris McNellis, who I would say is
Well, she
probably
would, yeah, she
the
should know.
person in the know. I happened to chat with her about it last Wednesday night, I believe it was. And she said that it's owned by some folks, land, that are from St. Mary's County, that have a gun club in St. Mary's County. But she can't find, she's trying to find out, because she just needs to know. And that's all she's been able to find out. So, we can speculate all we want,
Yeah.
but nobody knows yet.
I contacted Public Works man that I know works there, and he wants me to send him a, he's not, she said, I don't even know for sure where you're talking about. So I need to say, well,
You haven't seen the trees
I'm
down
not-
one
okay,
road?
but if he lives
May
in
not live
Denver,
down here.
he
Oh,
may
that's
not
right,
live
yeah,
down
that's
there,
right,
so,
yeah, you live the other
so
way, you don't.
I don't know, and that's what I need to do. Is it near the Hope Point where they set up the Hope Point?
Well, it's,
It's
it's,
further north.
Is it further north?
north
north.
of, it's just north of where the proposed Code Point Park is supposed to be going.
Okay,
Where, you know, the entrance, the old entrance to the,
Yeah.
you know, where the gas
where the
plant
stage,
stuff was.
yeah,
They turned that over to the county for a park.
right.
The county's been sitting on it, not doing anything. I thought and hoped that maybe that was gonna be, you know, they were clearing that land for what they were gonna do
The
with the
beginning
park.
of the park. So it's just north of that, though, is what you're
It's
saying?
just north of that.
Okay.
And
Sure.
there's a,
Cleared it quick, didn't they?
Hmm?
They cleared it quick,
Yeah,
didn't they?
oh,
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
how they got away with that.
Yeah.
You'd think the county would know something.
Well, maybe you're not talking to, maybe
I'm just talking to some guy I know
you know,
in
probably.
Public Works. I talked to
yeah,
finance and
probably
she
Robin
directed me
Trees,
there.
whatever Robin's.
What about Robin?
Robin
What
Monetizer?
about
Oh, yeah.
asking
That's,
Mr. Hart?
Yeah. Commissioner.
that gets to be a really
Send them a note.
A one-way conversation.
No, it's two way, you just don't understand what's
being-
coming the other way.
We are being recorded, I guess, when I'm
I can send
But I
them.
think Robin Monetizer, that's a good idea. I don't know why I'm there.
Tell me, how much did that little studio near you go for? Do you know?
What little studio?
Do you know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm talking about?
one went for
Tiny little thing.
800 and some
Yeah.
thousand.
They had 15 offers on it.
What's that?
Within a couple days.
It's less than 1,000
It's
square
on,
feet.
Lake, is it going around the current?
Oh, is that the
right?
one that's sort of up
Yep.
by
Is that Mary Jo?
Megan and
It's above-
Bruce's house
it's
in the
above
air?
Mary Jo.
Yeah, there was a
Okay.
tiny little thing up there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's the water view at least, not
Yeah,
waterfront.
it's a nice view here.
But it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's like
Maybe they're gonna
850
add
square
to
feet
it
or
or-
something.
Yeah, nothing,
Really? Okay.
nothing's ever gonna block their view, they
And
don't
how
have
much
to
do you
worry
think
about
they
it.
were asking for it?
They were asking 2, but they got 15 offers,
What were they
So-
asking?
200.
And I got 870, you said
Well, you
875?
know-
No,
No, let me take that.
No, I definitely got
So
875.
that was the square footage, okay.
Jimmy, that's what I just said.
That's what I thought. I thought
That's why I
that-
didn't have to get mixed up with another one.
What's that?
I'm the one that just said 800 and something.
Oh,
I
with
might
those
have
ones.
it mixed up with another one.
Oh, okay.
I hope.
Wow. Yeah, that's,
I
that's,
think I do.
Mm.
I was just shocked at how tiny it is.
It is so tiny.
And then it
Yes.
went for what?
Did you go into it?
I did.
Oh.
Mhm.
that was for sale for a long time though.
Mhm.
Because that was for sale for a long time, because I know some other people that looked at it a long time ago.
Just came on the market.
They didn't look
They
at
they
it.
took offers within 3 days.
Really?
Mhm.
It's a land.
Yeah.
There's not
Yeah,
much.
they're gonna tear it down.
Well,
Yeah. that's
New
nice.
Modo.
Mhm.
All right, planning committee, Mike, what do we
I
have?
don't have anything.
Good. I don't know, I don't know whether it is.
I can really feel there, Tony.
I know, we're moving right along. I don't know if it's unfinished business or new business, but the rocks to block vehicles on the
I'm going to
community
meet.
beach.
I'm gonna meet with John Wood tomorrow, and we're gonna go down and I'll show him where we want them, and
Yeah,
he'll give me a price.
I would propose
number.
that we put them all along, to remove all the wood stakes.
Sure. So how many rocks is
How
what
many
he
do we
needs to
need?
know,
Yeah,
and that's why he has
And
to,
of what size?
and of what size.
And they have to be separated by lesser,
Lesser than the width of a car.
Than the width of a car or something.
So what,
Why don't
Are you trying to
Or
keep
a,
golf carts out?
Well,
We have to have enough
access.
clearance for Joe or maintenance or whatever to get in there, so.
With a tractor,
Yeah, but how
not
do
with
we,
a truck.
but how do we do that? I
Then-
mean,
then-
realistically,
Yeah.
and with a.
Well, you either have to assume that if you ever come to it, you'll have to bring somebody in there with
To move
guns
the
and
rock.
remove the
Yeah,
rocks.
yeah.
So we're talking big, pretty big rocks,
Yeah,
not
we're
like in
talking
the causeway.
We're talking about big rocks.
No,
We're talking about
big
nice
rocks.
big
Big
rocks.
rocks, yeah, we're
That's
talking about
what I
big
thought,
rocks.
that's what I
And
thought.
they'll look like the ones they use in the spur, so it looks like it's,
Yeah.
it was
When,
planned.
when is John, when you
Tomorrow,
do?
tomorrow, he's gonna call me, do you want me to give you a call? Did you want me to
Try,
also? Oh, well,
I mean, you just brought up a question, do we wanna allow golf
Ray, are
carts
you,
to go in
give me
there?
a call as well?
no.
No, I don't think we want any
Yeah,
wheeled
well,
vehicles.
that's what she asked, that's what she asked.
Traveling late tomorrow, so, but
okay, I'll
it
give you
works
both a
out
call.
fine.
And
Tony, Rhea just
So
brought
do we
up-
have, do we have to have
Restricted
something
buffer.
wide enough that Smetco can get to that light,
Well,
or?
Well, only if something happens to that light, which has been once in my 20 years.
Well, then, if that happens and we have to move the rock, we'll just have to coordinate getting somebody in to move the rocks.
Right.
Because we can't tell Smeco to move the rock.
No.
So we'll have to move the rock and then Smeco will have to come in, that's all. We'll
But
just have
getting
to
back
leave
to
it.
what Rio had said, did we wanna restrict golf carts, and I think we
I
said
think we
yes.
wanna restrict
So now we're
all
talking-
wheels.
Yes.
All wheels, so we're
Yeah.
talking like 2 feet apart, 3 feet
3
apart?
feet apart. No,
I don't know.
golf cart's the width of this.
I have no
talk-
idea.
First off, talk to Joe
Yeah,
and see how much room he needs to get whatever
With
he
the
needs
tractor.
to get in there routinely.
Yeah,
And
so
then,
that's gonna be worded in.
and that's probably
what's,
with the
what's
golf.
going on with the potty
Well,
Porta potty, yeah.
potty
yes,
shelter?
we want to take it down, but the question is, how do we dispose of it? Somebody suggested to Joe, somebody who does construction and so on, just bury it, just bury it. And I'm thinking,
But you have
I
to
don't
dig
think we
up,
should
you
bury
have
it.
to, you have to be digging up the sand, or you dig up something.
well, yeah, I don't think we should,
Where
it might
are you
be,
gonna bury it?
Well,
Well,
you wouldn't.
The-
we wouldn't bury
We're
it.
gonna discuss
So
it.
the point is,
It's
we
gonna
have
sit
all,
in
concrete
So
blocks.
then what we have
You
is-
gotta take it to the dump
can't
and
bury
pay,
it.
pay
Just
the
pay
company.
for it.
okay, so, okay, so yeah, that's gonna be taken down.
Well, when?
Oh,
Before
sooner
the
rather
rocks.
than later, before the rocks.
That's right.
Before the rocks.
Good thinking, Alan.
All right, the problem
this
being is
before.
that Joe, the problem being is that Joe is not in the best of young, vibrant health to be able to swing
Is that
whatever, an axe or whatever you know, a
Sledgehammer.
sledgehammer, thank you. Steve Rose said he would
You
willing
have to
to
get somebody
help.
else to do it,
Yeah, so who was that person other than Steve, who was younger?
yeah. Well,
Get,
maybe
get,
Steve
enough- get Johnny to give us an estimate on
On removing that?
removing that thing and hauling this stuff away.
Yeah, removing it completely,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
hauling and
Yeah.
disposal, and see what he says.
That's
Right.
that's a good
that's
idea.
the best idea.
Yeah,
That way we-
Yeah.
Don't know how to dispose of it.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Does that.
He probably even has a bit of a, like a permit to dispose of certain
Or
things.
either that or just dumps it
Well, I
somewhere.
know, yeah, but then he would pay, well, maybe John's the one, but anyway. Okay, yeah, that's a very good idea, because, I mean, I had said to Joe, if you can get it down, I'll come down and help you put it into the truck, piece by piece, I can do that.
You are very strong.
You know,
Yes, it's very strong.
But, so I wasn't even considering paying a contractor to come in and do that. That's the best idea.
Is that sign that's there with all the beach rules, is that like put in the ground with concrete and stuff like that?
It must be, because
Or is
it's
it
never
just kinda-
tipped over, it's never loosened or been tipping at all. You know, hopefully.
Well, actually, it is leaning a little bit. Oh, I was,
My
I walked.
I'm
I mean,
assuming
it might have been leaning for the last
It's been
100
there
years,
since-
but it's leaning down the beach side.
it's been there since before I started, so.
But that's, I just,
Okay.
I mean, I kind of pulled on it, when I put up the camera,
Uh-huh.
it seemed pretty solid in the
Yeah.
ground.
Okay. So I'll talk to John about that tomorrow, and I'll call with you, Mike, and you, Alan, to let you know when he's going to be.
All right, so yeah, well, we don't have to make any
And I'll
decisions.
talk to Joe about the width that he needs, except I'll bet it is the width of a golf cart, to get that tractor in there.
Probably.
It would be interesting when you find out what they think the size of the rock should be, so we'll all know maybe a picture of it.
Right.
Well, it's the size of a small Volkswagen.
Yeah, okay.
All right, yeah, we don't have to worry about money until we get some proposals. And so, hey, does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Did you guys want to see the camera view?
Oh, yes,
Sure.
yes.
That would be my purpose for looking like some science project. How to do that?
And now this is gonna be live?
It will be live.
Ooh. Oh, it says Alan Fine is there.
Hold on. I have to get through my 14 letter password. Get rid of the emails unless anybody here wants to answer them for me.
Oh, I do, I'll do it. I'll
Do
hit
it,
the
it
delete
makes-
button, no, we don't.
Yeah,
I guess it's a good thing it's not an emergency on the beach.
I set them for certain motions. It would be motion, person, vehicle, animal, package, which I wasn't really sure what it was. Smoke, if it sees smoke or a fire. And that's really about it.
So what, do you get an alarm or something when this is
You
happening?
could, I mean, you could set your phone to go off, or one person can. Now, we could get logins for others, but in this case, I don't have it going off, because it goes off a lot, I mean, it would be going off.
anytime it-
Very often.
But I mean, the smoke would be an interesting thing to be able to notify somebody if there's a way to detect that separately from the
So
other things.
we've got 2 cameras, we get a feed like this. You guys see, I don't know.
Yeah, let's see, I'll come around.
Yours should be, you know,
I've seen it, so you guys can get around.
so you get a feed, these 2 folks came from behind.
Can you mark that?
Cross your views.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, there's-
Good picture.
Nice, did you see?
Yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Nice.
If someone was there through your phone, you could say, what are you doing, why are you there? You can hear them, you can hear the edge, you can hear the water, stuff like
Oh,
that.
so somebody's already walking there.
You can speak to the people on the water? Wow.
Now, is this live? Is
You know,
this
so if
live?
at night there was a perpetrator, you could do something.
Is it, I thought you said it's live? Alan?
Scared
No, this is not
There's a
live.
police siren,
Uh,
a police siren, when there's an app, that there's a police siren.
This is,
Oh,
this is about, that was just
April Fool's
So
has
there really is an
passed.
app with a
you
police
get,
siren.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes, there is.
Yes.
You get like a 10 or, as long as there's motion, you get like a 10 or 15 second. If someone was standing right in front of it, it'll go on for a while.
But the neighbors wouldn't appreciate it because the sign.
This is actually live.
Okay.
All quiet on
Really
West.
nice. What is this? I haven't been down there so long.
This,
Potty
right
That's the
here,
potty thing
That's
we're
the-
talking
that's the
about.
potty thing, and this was the sign, and that was part of why I was asking. You know, the views could be changed, but it was, could be in the way,
Well, it'll be away, it'll be out of the way at some point.
but,
Take it down.
and then this is again a feed of motion, not that long ago. Same thing, the other camera. I put them up high enough that, one might argue the angle, you could debate it one way or another. It's high enough that you'd have to give it some effort to knock it off. But that was a feed. If you were sitting around just watching them, these are both right now. 52 minutes ago, there was movement, 51 minutes.
Did they tell you which sensor it hit? So if you know it was an animal versus something else?
Yeah, it will tell you if it was an
You
animal
wanna
or
go back
something
and
like
look?
that. Again, it's motion,
Yeah.
so, one thing you might find just interesting.
Well, how much of this is stored?
Weeks to months, it'll ride over each other depending on how much motion. So the SIM card's in there, I can't really tell for sure, unless we keep it going. I think it'll be about a month to 5 weeks. In today's environment, probably less if it's, because it triggers on motion, so you're filling up the SIM card more on Memorial Weekend.
Can you set the sensitivity of the motion protection?
No,
Yeah,
no.
so you can't filter out small animals or,
We could limit what we're triggering on. Like I could take
Well,
that animals out of the equation, like,
well, then there must be some sensitivity.
nah, I guess, yeah, you could,
That's
cause
the
like,
only way you can filter out animals.
You said there was an animal package?
like that was like a fox. You know, you could. I would have to look at that and say, to filter sensitivity. If I took the animal out, it's less sensitive than the person or the car. Cause here is like, those are the things I filtered for. I found this is kind of interesting, you know, there was a fox.
Yeah, it almost has to have some sort of a weighted,
Yeah,
it's sort of a weighted average of what it's seeing and what it's feeling. And you know, over a certain amount, or under a certain amount, it'll detect some animals, over a certain amount.
mhm.
If you cut that out, you're gonna get humans and bigger things and.
Yeah, and I don't know that we can't change the sensitivity other than taking, we don't wanna have an animal in it, or something like that. That said, is it picks up, I think, this is cars. There was I wanted to just show you that.
And that's driving on the beach?
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, at the level it is, you're not gonna get the license plate.
But if you lower it too much, you said, then you risk people messing with
What time of the night was that?
To go look back, it was like around 11:30.
So that's what the rocks will stop.
We hope.
There you
Well, we're spacing right.
And was big enough. Oh, hi there. Nice.
go.
I think that's the main issue with being on the loose sand with the big vehicles.
Yes.
And no, we would like to keep the golf carts off,
Right.
but we've got to be able to get our
Yes.
mower on, so.
That's the interesting thing, Mike. There it is, like you have an animal and it picked up one of these two big bucks. Which
To
are,
groom, to groom.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So it's like a
We
regular-
bought a rig.
I mean, I don't know, two deer.
The deer.
I mean, I don't know if it's a buck. So I'm not really sure about that, but that's really,
Well, my guess is if you turned the animal off, you're probably still gonna get something as large as a deer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't quite
A
tell.
deer and a
Hopefully it'll
teenager.
filter out the,
Coyotes.
small animals,
Bunnies and.
birds,
yeah, it,
otherwise it's gonna be going on all the time.
oh, it goes off, I mean, if you look at the
Right.
feed, just here, you know, it's a little bit, for some reason, I'm not getting a lot of feeds now, like 6 and it's at 7 o'clock, but look how often it's going off. Which would be, if I interpret your concern, it'd be all of a sudden we're gonna run out of space, or it'll just overwrite onto the SIM
Right,
card.
but if we need to go back and look for something.
We need to
we
go
don't
back.
want it.
Right, because here at 5:07, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in an hour on one camera at 10 to 12 or 13 seconds. And the other one was, 2 times. But it would, if you got Memorial Day, it's just gonna be sitting there, turning.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So,
But it would be fresh, feed at least every 2 weeks, I would think, even if at the busiest season. So
Put
if
this
something
way.
has happened, we're going to know like the next day.
Yeah,
It's
that-
not
yeah.
gonna have been overwritten that
No,
quickly.
no, yeah, it's gonna be the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going back pretty, actually, I'll tell you what, exactly, right now, we have through the 18th of March. It's not overwritten yet.
Okay.
Okay, that's,
This is what, as we put them in, this is us putting them in, and I've got the March 18th now.
Right. So that's
Never erased it,
ish.
so, that's really it.
so we can fine tune it as we go along and figure out.
I like Mike's idea, I mean, take out animals, do we really care?
Right.
Small animals.
Well, but at what point, yeah, how do you define the size of the animal? Is it a deer?
Well, not only that, but, I mean, this
A kid?
sounds like a very silly thing to say, but what about if he went on all fours?
Well,
Sneaking
no,
into
but,
the
well,
ground with a,
but no, but a small person, I mean, how does the machine know it's not an animal?
kind of sneaking in.
it's gonna be based
I
on
think they'll be on all
the
two.
mass of an object in there and some kind of motion
Yeah.
detection.
I don't think
It's
this.
pixelation
I mean,
movie,
about
it's
people.
actually.
Yeah, I know
It's
you're
pixelation.
It's gotta have algorithms in there that
I
are,
think you're overthinking.
Right. But that's the difference, like, where analytics is interpreting information, the pixelation just moves, something moves and catches
so,
its attention.
can you adjust it on each camera individually?
Yeah, no,
No.
you cannot.
Okay. So
Whatever we decide
whatever
on
we
one.
said is gonna work for both of them.
Yeah,
Well, I would turn it off
With the
for a
animals.
while and just,
No.
you know,
For the small animals.
watch it and see, you know, if we're,
if we get more, you mean more time.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so right now, yeah, I know we got through the 18th. It will be interesting to see where it drops off, but, and then, the only question in my own mind, this is kind of how I felt, but I thought might be worth trying to blow holes in good, bad, or indifferent, is moving the angle of this camera.
Well, you probably over time watch and see.
Can you control the angle remotely, or is that another trip up the?
No, that's a
Ladder,
trip,
whatever.
up the
Yeah.
ladder.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, that is a trip up the ladder,
Yeah,
that's a trip
right.
up the ladder. And, so that's, yeah,
It's like a nice system.
no,
Far and away.
and it's,
Well, what do we got
it
now?
came in a little under budget, and it's about 45 or 50 bucks a month when it's done.
For the Comcast.
And the good news is, the batteries, the solar is working.
Good. Oh, that's great, that's great, oh, that's good.
The batteries have not get anywhere close to the sun yet.
That's great.
It's great.
Good.
Good job, Alan, thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Anything
Where,
else?
where did we put that in the budget, Rick, do you remember?
I believe I.
It was under security,
I believe under
it was
security.
under security.
I had put it under utilities, and then I think Jack and I, we met before the committee met, and he said, no, you know, if I were gonna look for that, I'd look for it under security. And that's where, and it made sense,
Yeah.
so I moved it.
Okay. You reduced it by law for monthly fee for cameras.
Yeah,
You
that
think
is
it's
what
how
we-
much?
About 45 to 50 a month. It cost us
Total
$250
or each?
total.
Total.
Yeah, it's gonna be about $50 a month.
Because of that discount or something.
And it is a discount, yeah, they billed us wrong the first time,
Right, because it
of
was
course.
like 90 or
It
something.
was, yeah,
So that's about $6,000. So, that leaves 3,000 in here for other security.
Well, it's not 6,000 for the cameras.
No,
it's $50 a month.
50 a month, that's about
Oh.
600.
600,
Because the rest of that security goes for the people who
right.
check for hang tags and so on.
And we budgeted what to put it in, because we came in about 400 under that.
Well, it's not in, this is next year's budget,
Okay.
so it's not.
So actually, that would have been all in the whole
Yeah.
budget, security budget.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that came out of security.
I can't remember, is there a sign that says there's cameras? in it?
There is two signs, there's two signs that say there's cameras there. One thing I think over time when we look at it is, do we care about getting a license plate? Because we're not gonna get it here.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah.
speeders,
Because
it's nice
Yeah.
to know, but
Well, you know,
it's
but-
almost like, what is the purpose of the camera if you can't see
Well,
anything?
yeah.
well, but
Because you're not gonna catch
well,
anybody.
let's try the rocks. If the rocks don't keep people off, then we gotta change the angle so that we can try and catch
So
license
let me say
plates.
this,
Well, what are we gonna do if we know the license plate?
not a thing.
Hmm.
The police officers have
Well,
told
that's
people
just
in drum
cases of
point, I don't
crime.
care if you have a your ring doorbell, and it catches the guy speeding, and you got the license plate, he has to witness it.
But
That's what the
we can
deputies tell
find out
me.
who the person was. and if
You
they're
can do
resident.
that,
That's
yes.
I
useful.
will say, this
That,
is
yeah,
interesting
I'm
about
just
the
saying,
police,
you're not gonna
they've
get
come
the police
three
to write a
times.
ticket after the fact.
Three times they've
Without being
come.
called?
Yeah, they just drove through, 3 times since March
Yeah,
18th.
So, I mean, if you.
Well, that was interesting.
So you can tell they were police on the camera?
No, I just happen to be looking
That's true.
way more than I intend to look, but as a thing, just to see if it was working and if it was going off. It was kind of a curiosity thing.
I rarely see them in the
I was
movie.
just surprised by it,
Yeah.
surprised by it, that's all,
That's good.
that they came.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is real, that's good to know.
But if, we could get a license plate, I'm pretty sure, but they also then would be low enough that someone could knock them off
Right.
pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we can't do anything with the information.
Well,
what
like Bonnie
difference?
just said, you could at least find out who it is, although I don't know if the police officer, if I call and say, hey, I've got this license plate, who owns it?
We have to find out.
I don't know if they'll tell me.
Yeah.
No,
They might, but
But
I don't know if they
want to
will.
be able to find out if it's a teenager to talk to the parents.
Yes, but if,
You can't find, yeah.
but if they won't tell me that information,
Yeah. You could put out a newsletter, who has license plates?
hey, we saw you driving on the
Yeah.
beach, your license plate number, who are you?
Right before the next board meeting.
Yeah, right.
hey,
They'll be
I mean,
burning
I think
things
most
on
of
the wall.
Most of this stuff happens because of teenagers.
All right, is there anything else that anybody
Yes,
wants to
yes,
bring up?
yes.
yes.
Oh, that's what's up.
And before we do that, I just want to say, by the next meeting, if I could have the president's page. Is she never gonna shut up about that, Tony?
It's exactly what I was thinking.
I also read mine.
It's the beginning of the month still.
I
And
know, I know.
But the first Tuesday in May is May 7th.
Yes, it is.
God,
So it gives you a whole month.
Yeah, it gives you, yeah, a little bit more time.
I just want to make sure I've got it out of here before I leave the thing.
So we have to be the 7th or the 14th.
Because it's supposed to be in people's hands, that budget, 15 days prior to the meeting.
okay, so the next board meeting is May 7th.
Yes.
And, okay, so when is May 7th agreeable to everybody?
Mhm.
So I won't be here, that's all right.
And
We
then,
don't need to.
when do you have to get the newsletter out? When do you,
Well, I would like it out, obviously, before I leave, so I would like it in my hands, finished, by the 10th. You know, it's the Friday after the board meeting, is the 10th. So, because what I do, I always take it home with me, work on it on the weekend if I need to, but definitely on the 13th, which is a Monday, work from home.
And you
That's
gotta-
something I would do from home.
And you have to have the budget
Yes,
approved in there too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Okay,
so
so
all of that
the,
would
the
go
next
into
board
it.
meeting, okay. All right. You do
Gotta love
dislike me, don't
I
you?
love you, Connie.
All right, I guess that's it. Anything else? Then we're adjourned.